Hello, Darren the Magic Ghostbuster here. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Now, I'm not talking about Ghostbusters in this video, I'm actually talking about Star Wars. I've always been a Star Wars fan since I was young, grew up watching the original trilogy on VHS, and my favourite toys, or Star Wars toys at least, were the Micro Machines. I really loved them back in the day. I don't really collect Star Wars now, but I do have a few little bits here and there, some lightsabers, a couple other little bits. But this video really is about my time working as a supporting artist on Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, the one everyone really loved. So there's different names for supporting artists. Some people call them extras, some people call them background actors, but basically it's all those characters in the background that you see on any TV production, really, you know, whether it's stormtroopers in the back of a scene in Star Wars, elves in the back of Lord of the Rings, or just normal people in the back of, you know, a soap opera. And like I said, I got to work on this film, and at the time, sorry, I mean, it was a dream come true at the time. Since then, I've managed to work on Ghostbusters, which was bigger, for me at least. But at the time I did Star Wars, I don't think there was, you know, no news of a new Ghostbusters film. But most of those films are filmed here in the UK, and when you get booked for these things, it doesn't say you are booked to be on Star Wars. It's a code name, and the code name for this film was Trixie, with the IX in the middle being capitalised for the Roman numerals of 9. But very excited. I mean, at that point we had had The Force Awakens, which I actually liked Force Awakens at the time. I think it was a good stepping off point. I know it was a bit of a soft reboot, and, you know, there are some issues, you know, like Rey just being immediately powerful using the Force and stuff, but overall I thought it was a good stepping off point. Of course, then it went downhill. We had The Last Jedi, was really hoping that it would go back on track with Rise of Skywalker, which, you know, in my opinion it didn't. I think most people share that opinion, but if you don't agree with what I just said, you know, if you enjoy it, good for you. That's all that matters. Other opinions don't matter when it comes to film. It's your opinion that matters, because you're the one watching it and enjoying it. Hopefully enjoying it. But I did a couple of days on it, and I just thought it'd be interesting to do a video about it, really. So I was a first order technician. That's what I was hired as. Went for costume fitting, put in the costume, had the hat. I had shorter hair back then. So when did that film come out? 2019. So I must have filmed this 2018. I think. Getting my dates muddled up. Yeah, I'm very excited to be on set. And the set was like, you went up these steps. It was in this big, like, warehouse type thing, or studio. And you had all like the corridors of the base, and, you know, it looked exactly like it does on the film. You know, you had all the consoles at the sides, and you had the shiny floor. Really cool. So, like I said, first order technician, but I also did a first order gunner, which was the same costume, except they put a helmet on. And did they change the belt? I can't remember. They might have changed my belt for that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But filmed a few different things, and most of what I filmed was actually cut. I filmed, and it was a lot of his reshoots as well. I was involved with. So the first thing I filmed was this scene. Now, I don't know how well you remember Rise of Skywalker. There was a scene where all the First Order officers are having like a meeting, and Kylo Ren comes in. He dumps his head on the table, this alien's head, and filmed his execution scene. I was very deep in the background for that. I was a gunner, so I had the helmet on, and I was just walking. I think I walked twice, if I remember right, in the background. Whilst you know, a couple of stormtroopers had him down on the floor. They had a little bit of a backward and forwards, him and Kylo Ren, and then Kylo Ren knights his lightsaber and chops his head off. And again, that scene was cut, but of course you do see him plop the head on the table later on. And then did this scene on the bridge. So a couple of scenes on the bridge, just walking backwards and forwards while stuff was happening. But again, quite deep in the background, couldn't really hear what was going on. And then I did a scene which again was cut, annoyingly. And this is the scene where I would have got seen really well. Where, so you had Kylo Ren, the Knights of Ren, General Hux, and I can't remember Richard E. Grant character's name now, but they all walked past, and of course didn't I wouldn't have known Richard E. Grant's character's name back then either, because he hadn't been in any of the previous films. But they all walked past, and I'm standing to attention like this, basically. So my direction was, I was messing around with a little console. As they come past, I notice them, so turn around, stand to attention, and they basically stop in front of me and have this chat for a minute or two about Ray, trying to capture Ray and all this sort of stuff. And then they walk off, and leaving General Hux behind, and he sort of looked like concerned. So I think that was probably playing into the whole, you know, him turning against them kind of thing. But that was all cut, which was a shame, really, because like I said, that is a scene where I would have got noticed, I think, the most. But it was an interesting scene, because I always remember that one as well. So in between takes, Adam Driver you know, made a couple of mistakes, and had his helmet on, which was interesting, because at the time, I don't think anyone knew that, you know, he was going to have his helmet back, because he destroyed it in the previous film. So that was kind of cool to see. But he kept messing up his lines, and then I'm not going to swear, because I know some kids like watch my videos, but saying the F word, and he was like F F F F F, and it was just quite, to me, it was quite funny seeing him do that in the costume. I found quite amusing. But then in between takes, I always remember he was in front of me, basically pacing up and down, going over his lines in his head. But between takes, they had a guy come around and he swept the floor and stuff, because, you know, those floors are shiny, as you see in the film. They're very shiny, so they're swept between each take, and all the crew have to wear like bags over their shoes as they're doing stuff on the set to keep it clean. And I always remember, so you had a Kylo Ren pacing up and down whilst this guy's sort of sweeping, and then I think he got in his way, so then Kylo Ren, or Adam Driver even, sort of snapped at him and was like, hey man, can you just go and effing do that somewhere else? Which again, I'm standing there sort of trying to like not to laugh, because I thought it was so funny, because he was in the helmet. I feel sorry for the cleaner, but you know, seeing it in the helmet, I just found amusing, which was quite funny. And then what was the other scene I filmed? So there was a scene in the what do you call those bits in the Star Destroyer, the pit or whatever you call it? Filmed a scene in that, which was the one bit where you can actually see me, the one bit they actually did use, and it was basically near the end of the film, battle's going on, Richard E. Grant looks down and an officer looks up, and I can't remember the line, and then you see me in the background. My head's cut off about here, and I'm probably on screen for about a second, but you can see me. And it's funny because I saw the film in a cinema, and, you know, probably thought what a lot of people thought. But I bought it on Blu-ray, you know, just because I thought, you know, it's a Star Wars film that I was in for a second, I'm going to buy that. But I never actually brought myself to watch the whole film again. I did fast forward to that point so I could get a little screenshot, but I've never been able to watch it again. I just didn't, you know, which is very unusual for me for Star Wars film. I'd always give them that, you know, watch them again, but I've never been able to, so I guess that alone shows what I thought of it, which is a shame, really. But I don't want to turn this video into a, you know, moaning about Star Wars thing, because it was still cool to be part of the Star Wars universe, even if it was a film that is not fondly remembered. Some other memories of set was, I remember standing somewhere, I can't remember, I was standing there, and I remember Richard E. Grant and J.J. Abrams standing probably 3 meters from me, and they were discussing, because this was a reshoot, and basically J.J. was kind of explaining why they're reshooting, and the battle was in a different location now to what they had previously shot, which, to me, that kind of, obviously didn't think about it at the time, because I don't even think at that point the Emperor had been confirmed as, or it had been announced that he was back, and I didn't know that. He wasn't on set, there was no mention of him when I was there, but to me that kind of confirms the rumours that Palpatine was added back in as a last minute addition, maybe during reshoots. I could be wrong, but obviously those are rumours, so that to me, that does, in my mind, makes it certainly viable that that's true. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it was a great day. As I said, it was great to be part of the Star Wars universe. I do have a couple of Lego figures of a First Order technician and a First Order gunner somewhere. Down there. Just, you know, because, you know, why not? You know, I've got 2 Lego figures of my characters catching Chris Pratt up. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it was cool. It was cool to be part of, despite the film. And I don't think I can say much more about it. I just wish, you know, could get some pictures of me on set. And it's a shame they're so strict. I get why they're strict with that. They don't want leaks. But it'd be nice, because I mean, costume and all that, they come around taking pictures of you all the time. And especially with things like that. They're doing lint rollers over your costume between every take, which I've always found funny because, you know, generally speaking, I'm this blur in the background. I mean, they're not going to see they're barely going to see me, let alone a bit of lint on my shoulder. But it'd be nice if you could get hold of some of those photos. Would have been nice, but you know, I'm hoping eventually they release some of the deleted scenes, because I don't think there was any deleted scenes on the Blu-ray from what I remember. Certainly none that I did. So I thought that was a shame. But because the film obviously didn't, you know, isn't remembered, I don't know if they'd ever bother releasing them. But it'd be nice if that scene where I'm standing to attention is released, just so I can see that and get a nice screenshot. But is what it is. But yeah, let me know what you think of Rise of Skywalker. Maybe just keep it, you know, fairly tame, just in case there are kids commenting or reading even. Yeah, and let me know if you've ever done that sort of work. I mean, that sort of work generally is it's the same wherever you go. There's a lot of sitting around, and a lot of it is walking backwards and forwards. Sometimes you do things like, you know, sometimes you get a job where you drive Dodgems or something, which I've done. But generally speaking, it's the same sort of job. You know, you stand around walking backwards and forwards kind of thing. And what makes it, generally, for me, is like being a Star Wars fan made it extra cool. The Ghostbusters one, you know, again, with Ghostbusters, I was just walking past Ray's bookshop. Ultimately, easy job, no different to any other. Because it's Ghostbusters, I'm looking up at the firehouse and Ray's bookshop and all that. It's just, to me, it was like being a kid on Christmas. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm rambling on, and there's not really much more I can say about it. But I mean, if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer anything. Yeah. Oh, actually, one other thing has come to mind, which I thought was silly, because the toilet was in a different area, so you had to go outside to use the toilet, or outside to then go inside to use the toilet, I should say. And they had these things called secrecy cloaks, which looked like a massive Jedi robe kind of thing that you had to put over your costume. And apparently this was because paparazzi have been known to fly drones over to get pictures, which, you know, now I get that, you know, if you've got Mark Hamill on set and you wanted to keep that secret, I understand that, but for a first order technician, I can't imagine the Sun newspaper would have took a picture of me and gone, oh look, there's first order technicians in the new Star Wars film. So, well, yeah, of course there is. I don't think that would have been a spoiler or a revelation, but yeah, I found that funny as well. So, I think that's probably the only time I remember wearing a secrecy cloak on a film. But yes, anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on Star Wars. Let me know if you've ever done this kind of work, you know, what you've done it on. And yeah, if you like Ghostbusters, please subscribe. My channel is mostly Ghostbusters generally. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video, hopefully. Until then, keep on busting.
Want to give a big shout out to the Magic Ghostbuster. Hey Darren, very, very impressive.